Duchenne muscular dystrophy is a genetic disorder that runs in my family. It causes progressive muscle deterioration and weaknesses, and tragically, it is terminal. It impacts most of the males, or many of the males in my family. Growing up, my first pals were one of my uncles and my cousins. We were all around the same age. We hung out together. We had a good time, despite the fact that Duchenne's confined them to wheelchairs for much of their childhood. But we, like I said, we had a great time together, shared a lot of memories, made a lot of memories. Sadly, all that came to an end when we entered young adulthood, when this devastating disease took them way, way too early. Under the proposed medical aid in dying bill that's before us, individuals with a terminal illness like Duchenne's would be allowed at age 18 to request and self-administer life-ending medication. And they could do so without the knowledge or the consent of their parents or their guardians. Now, many of the constituents that I've heard from on this issue, including those who support the concept of medical aid in dying, they're frankly shocked to learn that this legislation permits assisted suicide beginning at age 18, the same age as many of our high school seniors who are graduating this month. They're even more surprised to learn that no parental involvement is required by this bill, not even notification to their parents. As a mother and a grandmother, this is so hard for me to imagine. We've heard a lot of back and forth tonight about the bills and the protections for patients. But the bill's so-called guardrails are, in my view, inadequate for people of any age. Mental health referrals, for example, would be optional. They're not mandatory. And the required evaluations by both the primary physician and the second opinion from a consulting physician could be provided without ever seeing that patient in person. In fact, it's my understanding that so long as that physician is licensed to practice in the state of New York, they could be anywhere in the world and offer their opinion without ever seeing the patient in person. It goes on, too. Witness statements can be signed by complete strangers. The bill language says that the witness only has to confirm the patient has provided proof of identity. You could grab anyone off the street and ask them to do that. Equally concerning is the bill's failure to establish safeguards for tracking or recovering unused doses of these lethal medications. Now, just like so many people in this chamber, I've worked hard for so many years to reduce the number of drug overdoses, especially in our rural communities. And I worry about what happens when these powerful drugs remain in homes, potentially leading to tragic misuse or diversion onto our streets. And it's not lost on me that tonight, the same day that this body passed my Rural Suicide Prevention Council bill, we're also considering a medical aid in dying bill. Mr. President, life is precious. I know we all believe that and value that. It's a blessing. And I recognize that for so many, including my own family members, that life can be challenging and painful. But this bill does not offer what I feel are adequate and necessary safeguards and protections. And that is something that we absolutely must get right on an issue as serious as this. I heard people talk about this being a slippery slope. I believe it is a slippery slope. And for these reasons and so many others, I will be voting no tonight, and I urge all my colleagues to do the same. Thank you.